Temple bells are not just for sound, they awaken your senses and calm your mind. These bells have been in Indian worship, Hindu worship for thousands of years. They're not just symbolic, they are designed with an intention to purify the space, to focus the mind, and connect us to something much higher. Hi, my name is Swetha. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about temple bells. And in this video, I'm going to try to explain what a temple bell is, how it's made, the significance of temple bells in Hindu culture in a religious way, and its scientific and science reasons behind it. So let's dive into the video. Temple bells are hung at the entrance of the temple, and in every temple there is for sure a temple bell at the entrance, and there is no devotee who enters the temple without ringing the temple bell. So let's see why we ring the temple bell, what it is made up of, what's the significance of it. The hanging bell is made up of 8 metals, and it's in Sanskrit it's called Ashtadhatu. That means 8 metals. These metals consist of copper, tin, zinc, lead, and few other metals. And they are not just mixed however it's wanted. They are mixed in a definite proportions to make a particular sound, a particular vibration. Ancient saints have done a lot of research on metallurgy to figure the composition, the tilt, the hanging height, the vibrations, and the echo in a right proportion. The bell is shaped like a dome, like a hollow dome, with a tongue or a ball hanging. When this tongue is struck with a certain force, it makes a vibration that is similar to the cosmic vibration Om. So this is how temple bells are made. Now let's talk about the second point of the video, which is the spiritual meaning of why we ring the bell, or the significance of bell in a spiritual point of view. One of the belief is, we say that when we ring the bell, we are awakening the deity. But are we really awakening the deity? Because we believe God is everywhere, God is present, He is omnipresent, He is within us, He is watching us and our every move. So how are we awaking somebody who is already awake? So that might be a misunderstanding or misinterpretation that we have when we say we invoke the deity. It might be that we are announcing our presence to the deity. So that's one of the belief we have. The other belief is, when we ring the bell, the sound of the bell removes all the negativity. It wards off all the negative or evil power, evil energy away from us. That is the belief we have, and that's the reason we ring the temple bells. So now let's dive into the practical and scientific reasons behind ringing temple bell. Every aspect, every part of the ritual that we do in Hindu culture, in Sanatan Dharma, it has a very, very deep meaning to it, and every aspect has a scientific reason and scientific understanding behind it. It's just we need to figure it out, find it out, learn, and understand the meaning behind it. So now we'll talk about the practical and logical aspect of ringing the temple bell. In olden days, there were a lot of poor people, or people who are sick, or who are traveling. they used to live in the temples. They used to rest in the temples during the night. Temples were like a resting spaces, like an Airbnbs for them back in the day. So for that reason, in the morning when the priest comes and he rings the bell, it's telling them that it's time for the devotees to come into the temple and for them to leave the temple so that the devotees can do their worship. That is one of the reasons. The other reason is back in the day, temples were not built on the ground on the same level as we are living right now. They were either built on mountain tops, hills, or under the ground like caves and all. So it was when the temple bells were rung, it was like a sign for the people around to know that it's time for the prayers. And the temple bells were rung during certain periods, like in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and the night. So it's basically telling them the time of the day. So when it's rung in the morning, it's telling the devotee that it's time to wake up, do your duties, pray God, and it's time for all your regular day in day life. And when it's rung in the afternoon, it's telling it's lunchtime, have your meal. That's the time of the day. And in the evening, when the bell is rung, it says that it's now you're supposed to come back home, rest. It's you're off your duty. That's one of the meaning for the bell in the evening. And in the night, when they rang the bell, they are saying it's time for bed. So back in the day, people didn't have watch or clock or some kind of alarm system. So the temple bells were like an announcement for the people for the time of the day. Not everybody were able to read the time looking into the sky. So it helped people to determine the time of the day. That is one more significance. And the other significance is back in the day, temples were in a different, like in a distant place. They were not built within the community. They were built a little further away. They were are surrounded by woods and forests. So they didn't have big fences around it or all. So there was a possibility of animals, dangerous animals, birds, or any snakes or all kinds of creatures to come into the temple and harm the devotees. So when the temple bells were rung, the sound makes the animals and all the creatures run away from that temple surroundings, and it would be a pleasant place for the devotees to enter the temple. That is one more reason that they rang the bell. We'll talk about the spiritual reasons. The spiritual reason is when you enter a temple, when you ring a temple bell, the sound, the vibrations that come from the sound makes your mind focus on the deity and ward off from all the thoughts that are running around in your mind, because our mind is never calm. It's always our mind is running with n number of thoughts. So when the bell is rung, the the vibration, it shocks your brain and it makes you focus on the deity. That's the whole point of you coming to the temple. So focus on the temple. The other reason is the sound that comes from the vibrations of the bell. It kills negative energy, it kills bacteria. How, you ask? Now I'm going to dive into the scientific reasons for why the bell is rung. It is scientifically proven that some of the sound vibrations, mostly the ultrasound vibrations, have the capacity to kill any bacteria or microorganisms that's present in the space. This helps kill the bacteria and viruses in the space. So when the temple bells are rung in that way, it kills the bacteria around and it disinfects the area. So this keeps the devotees that enter the temple healthy and hygienic. When the temple bell is rung, the sound that comes from the temple bell, it has a vibration and it has a sound, a frequency that lasts up to a minimum of 7 seconds. And this 7 seconds is enough for it, for the sound that enters our ear and enters our body to touch the 7 chakras that are in our body. And it also helps in synchronizing, I mean, the sound, the vibrations, the frequency of the vibrations, the hertz that enter into our ear, it synchronizes the left and right part of the brain and helps us calm and relax. The sound energy that enters our body, it helps in neutralizing the negative energy and formatting into a positive energy. So when a bell is struck with a certain force, it produces a vibration, a sound that is similar to sound of Om. Scientific study also reveals that the vibration sound like Om can increase the production of nitric oxide and resonate the pineal gland and stimulate all the electronics, like all the electrons in the cells, and stimulate the pineal gland and the hormonal gland inside our body, thereby keeping our body healthy, fit, and energetic. Such sound vibrations repair the DNA and energize and strengthen our immune system, thus keeping us younger. So the next time you enter a temple, you ring the temple bell or you hear the sound of a temple bell, I hope you'll understand the reasons behind it, what our sages, our ancient ancestors have thought about that we are studying in this new age that they have done centuries, decades, centuries ago with all the knowledge that they had. So hope you like this video. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, share my videos to others so they can understand what Hindu culture actually is, what Hinduism is, and what Sanatana Dharma is. Thank you for watching the video. Namaste.